What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Pro Wrestling Talk, brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram, coming at you here on the U to the Tube. Wow. So, got quite a bit to talk about. A lot's happened. Uh, there were a lot of cuts made by WWE today, and it's been a crazy day. It's been a really crazy day, but we're gonna get into that. Gonna do a leaderboard update for the Stardom 5-Star Grand Prix. We got a little bit of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Got some events coming up. The Super Junior Tag League is coming up, including another never open weight 6-man title defense coming up. Got Resurgence coming up in a week. See, gonna recap some AEW and get into some WWE, and especially go over the list of cuts that were made today. But anyway, let's get started with some Stardom. So, let's look at the current standings of the 5-Star Grand Prix. Of course, this past weekend on Saturday and Sunday was when they started the day 1 and day 2 of the 5-Star Grand Prix. And they actually made it pay-per-view shows, day 1 and day 2. I thought that was really weird that they did that, but I guess they wanted to start off with a bang. But let's go over the leaderboard and just catch everybody up to date as far as the current standings. So right now, let's look at the red side, the Red Stars. So we have Julia Koguma, Mayu Iwatani, Mina Shirakawa, Momo Watanabe, Natsupoi, and Starlight Kid all have 2 points. So each one of those ladies that I named off each have 2 points. Himeka, Fukiken Def, and Saki Kashima right now still haven't gotten on the leaderboard, but Himeka hasn't wrestled her first match yet. So, but yeah, Julia lost to Mayu Iwatani, beat Starlight Kid. So she got the 2 points for beating Starlight Kid. Koguma so far has only wrestled 1 match, but she defeated Natsupoi. Mayu Iwatani, she's actually lost once to Momo Watanabe, but defeated Julia. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Did not think Momo would win that, but Mayu beat Julia. So that's how she got her 2 points. Mina Shirakawa got her 2 points beating Fukiken Def. And that's the only match she's had so far. Momo Watanabe, she has defeated Mayu Iwatani, but lost to Natsupoi. I thought that was interesting that she lost to Natsupoi. And of course, Natsupoi got her win against Momo Watanabe, but lost to Koguma. So, yeah. And then Starlight Kid lost to Julia, but beat Saki Kashima, which was a very interesting match, especially at the end with Starlight Kid putting a mask over Saki Kashima. But yeah, that's how she got her 2 points, beating her. And those are the results of the Red Stars, the red side, for now. All right, let's hop on over to the blue side. So for the Blue Stars, we have Shuri and Unagi Sayaka both with 4 points. We have Maika, Tam Nakano, Utami Hayashishita, all 3 of those ladies with 2 points. And Azumi, Konami, Ruoka, Saya Kamatani, Takumi Iroha all with 0 points. Now, Ruoka and Takumi Iroha have yet to have any matches, so that's why they currently have 0 points. They haven't wrestled yet. All right, looking at Shuri. Shuri's undefeated right now with 4 points, with wins over Saya Kamatani and Maika. Unagi Sayaka has been on a roll, starting off strong with two victories, getting her 4 points, with a victory over Tam Nakano and Azumi. So Unagi Sayaka and Shuri off to great starts and looking very strong. Let's see. For Maika, Maika defeated Utami Hayashishita. That was a pretty big upset, but she lost to Shuri. Tam Nakano, she beat Konami, but lost to Unagi Sayaka. Utami Hayashishita lost to Maika, but she beat Saya Kamatani. And Azumi, so far she's only had one match, but she lost to Unagi Sayaka. Konami lost her match to Tam Nakano. Yeah, Konami lost to Tam Nakano. And then Roka hasn't had a match yet. And Saya Kamatani, she isn't starting off too well. She's 0-2 right now, with losses to both Shuri and Utami Hayashishita. So Saya not looking too good right now. And Takumi Iroha hasn't wrestled a match yet. So B block, or not B block, the Blue Stars, Blue block, looking strong with Shuri and Unagi Sayaka holding on to the top there. But it'll be interesting to see what happens once Himeka, Ruoka, and Takumi Iroha finally start wrestling their matches. And just to reiterate, September 25th will be the finals of this tournament, of the 5-Star Grand Prix. But hopefully they will upload some more days soon on Stardom World. But that's our recap of the Stardom 5-Star Grand Prix. So that is it for Stardom. Now, looking at New Japan Pro Wrestling. So we've actually got the Super Junior Tag League coming up in New Japan Pro Wrestling during the Summer Struggle Tour, which will be a 5-day event. We'll have 6 teams, all in a single block, and pretty much everybody will face everybody. And pretty much the team that has the most points when it's all said and done wins. And if there's a tiebreaker, let's see, in case of a tie between 2 or more ranked teams in the block, in terms of points, tiebreakers will be held and the winner would be decided. Okay, so at least they have a way of settling tiebreakers, so that's good. But let's take a look at these 6 teams. So we have Sho and Yo, Roppongi 3K. We have Taiji Ishimori and El Fantasma. That's a team. We have El Desperado and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. We have Gato and Dick Togo as a team. We have Ryusuke Taguchi and Master Wato as a team. And we have Tiger Mask and Robbie Eagles as a team. Definitely a few interesting ones. Tiger Mask and Robbie Eagles teaming up. That's interesting. And then Gato and Dick Togo. It's kind of an interesting combination. But the Tag League, the Super Junior Tag League, starts August 7th and will last up to August 17th. So from August 7th to the 17th. But yeah, this is looking pretty exciting for New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I'm sure that whichever team wins will have pretty much the right to challenge for the tag titles of their weight class. So it should be good. Should be really good. Second. Okay. Now, looking at what else is going on in New Japan Pro Wrestling, we also have an upcoming never openweight 6-man tag team championship match where the champs, Hiroki Goto, Yoshihashi, and Tomohiro Ishii will defend the titles against LIJ's Bushi, Sanada, and Tetsuya Naito. Tell you, Chaos has really been on a roll. They've really been on a roll, but they really have some good opposition coming up. And this match will be August 10th during the Summer Struggle. So that's definitely a match looking forward to. And then let's also remember we got New Japan Pro Wrestling Resurgence that's coming up in a week. And we got a couple of big name matches. Got the Never Openweight Championship that's going to be defended. Like I said, Jay White is defending against Dave Finlay. And we also found out that Lance Archer will defend the IWGP United States Championship against the Ace, Hiroshi Tanahashi. So those two matches will take place at Resurgence. Tomohiro Ishii versus Moose. That should be really interesting. Two heavy hitters. That should be really interesting. And then, of course, we have the Tag Team Turbulence winners of the Good Brothers, Machine Gun Carl Anderson, Doc Gallows, going up against Jon Moxley and a partner of his choosing, a hidden secret partner. So it'll be interesting to see who that turns out to be. So definitely got a lot to look forward to New Japan Pro Wrestling wise. But yeah, that's what we got coming up. So never openweight 6-man tag titles on the line August 10th. They're getting ready to start the Super Junior Tag League. And then we got Resurgence coming up. So y'all definitely keep your eyes out for those shows. Alrighty. Let's move on to some AEW. So, AEW. Now, we had the Labors of Jericho Chapter 3, which was Chris Jericho versus Juventud Guerrera. Of course, these two know each other very well from many years ago, seeing them in WCW. Great athletes. The stipulation with this match was Chris Jericho had to do a top rope move in order to win the match. Unfortunately, this match was a little sloppy. There were a small handful of botches in this match. And at times it felt kind of slow paced. It's kind of a bummer because, you know, these two are great wrestlers, but just I don't know if it was just this matchup, you know, long time in the making and that there was rust in the chemistry between the two, but there were some botches in this match, so it wasn't really clean. But Chris Jericho was able to get the victory doing a top rope flying Judas effect. And hey, it counts. And then an even bigger letdown happened. Wardlow comes in, attacks Jericho. MJF announces Chapter 4 of the Labors of Jericho, which is a match between Chris Jericho and Wardlow and the stipulation is MJF is the special guest referee. Honestly, this was a big letdown. This was a big letdown. Like, this is the fourth labor of Jericho? This is chapter 4? Just a match with Wardlow with MJF as the special guest referee? Like, honestly, if I would have known that they were going to go with that, chapter 2, the no holds barred match that Chris Jericho had with Nick Gage, that should have been chapter 4. If they were going to go at it about this like that, that should have been the chapter 4 match, not chapter 2. So honestly, this fourth match is a letdown. This is a letdown. And I don't know how they're gonna really have this play out, considering MJF's the special guest referee. But yeah, I'm not a fan of this choice. Yeah, I can't say that I'm a fan of this choice. Anyway, one second. But like, yeah, I don't know. Y'all have to let me know what y'all think about that. But I feel like if they were gonna do that, maybe that should have been chapter 2, and the Nick Gage match should have been chapter 4. That's how I truly feel. But I don't know. But moving on. Had a segment with the Lucha Bros backstage with Andrade and Chavo Guerrero without Pac, which apparently, they're still trying to recruit the Lucha Bros. And apparently they had canceled Pac's transportation, so he couldn't be with the Lucha Bros. Just more and more stirring the pot, trying to get the Lucha Bros to join Andrade and Chavo. So more of that. And we had ourselves a trios match, which had 2.0 Matt Lee and Jeff Parker, formerly known as Everrise. Yeah, they're wrestling in AEW now. But yeah, they teamed up with Daniel Garcia to face the challenge of Eddie Kingston, Jon Moxley, and Darby Allin, which, I mean, geez, way to kind of throw them to the wolves. But I mean, they had a promo, which was good, which was a pretty good promo leading up to this match, but just ended up getting destroyed. I mean, of course, the obvious team won, but it's good to see 2.0 formerly Everrise wrestling in AEW. So who knows? Maybe they'll get signed, but it was good to see them. It was definitely good to see them. And then, of course, the Elite had a segment where Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks just pretty much were talking about how they may retire. There's nobody left to challenge them. They've beaten everybody and blah, blah, blah. We had Christian Cage against the Blade. This was a good match. This was a very good match. And, Christian is just such a hard worker. Like, I've always loved his in-ring work. And just, the dude can still go. And I was not disappointed. Ended up getting the victory with a spear on the Blade. But it was a good match. It was actually a pretty dang on good match. I was digging it. Then you had a segment with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, being interviewed by Tony Schiavone. And then out comes Miss Stir It Up, Red Velvet, laying down the challenge, as she is, I believe is she number one ranked? She might be actually number one ranked. Therefore, pretty much the one that would deserve a title opportunity. But they are going to get, she is going to get her title opportunity on Rampage in Britt Baker's hometown of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So that's next week. That's next Friday, the debut of AEW Rampage. So that should be good. I know a lot of people aren't really thrilled. I mean, oh, it's Red Velvet versus Britt Baker. But I mean, Red Velvet, she's improved, and she's been doing pretty well in her record shows and just how they've been booking her. So I mean, hey, I can't say that I'm super excited, but I'm not super down about this match. I mean, I think it'll still be a good match. It's another title defense. And it's a chance for both these ladies to shine in the spotlight. So hey, I dig it. Chavo Guerrero and Andrade had another segment backstage that ended up having um, Fuego del Sol involved, as that they were trying to get him to shine Andrade's shoes, which, he wouldn't shine his shoes. And then, of course, he got attacked and laid out by Chavo and Andrade, and yeah. So pretty much humiliated Fuego del Sol as a message sent to the Lucha Brothers. Wow. But they had America's Top Team, Dan Lambert, pretty much do a little promo about what had happened to him from Lance Archer, and that he'll be back. And I guess he's bringing backup or a cavalry or something like that. So we'll have to see what happens with that. Although I think it's kind of interesting because also next week is Resurgence as well, which Lance Archer will be defending his title against Hiroshi Tanahashi. So we'll see what happens. But I guess this is going to be on Dynamite. So, hey, Lance Archer's going to be busy next week. Tony Schiavone had an interview with Hangman Adam Page, and of course the Elite came out to humiliate him, talk smack. Adam Page fired the shot, tried to take out the Elite by himself. Dark Order came down to try to help, but they backed off because they were reminded that Adam Page backstage told Dark Order, he appreciates their help, but with everything going on, he feels that they need to go their separate ways, and that Hangman Page needs to deal with this on his own. He needs to fight this battle on his own. They respected his decision. Some of them came out, but they didn't help. Frankie Kazarian tried to come in and help, but that didn't last long, and he got taken out. So, yeah, not looking too good for Hangman Adam Page, especially after losing the 10-man elimination match and not getting his title shot. Yeah, it's not looking too good for Hangman Adam Page. Shame. We had the TNT Championship on the line as Miro defended against Lee Johnson. And Lee Johnson actually did a little something during this match. Got in some decent offense. But after eating a Machka kick and a game over, won't nothing more he could do. But hey, it was good to see him get some spotlight and get a title match. So I can definitely dig that. All right. More Christian Cage as he was backstage with Tony Schiavone, and been declared the number one contender for the AEW World Championship. So he's the new number one contender. Not sure when he will get that title match, but at least since coming to AEW, at least he's had matches to earn his way up to this spot. So, got to give him credit on that. They next up had a NWA Women's World Championship Eliminator match. You had the Bunny versus legit Layla Hirsch, who had best friends in her corner, by the way. It was pretty back and forth between these two, but Layla Hirsch was able to get the cross arm breaker on the Bunny, tapped her out. Not only that, the champ, Camille, was watching in the front row. She was watching. And then after the match, she came in, had a stare down with legit Layla Hirsch, which the height difference, of course, is the main thing that stood out. Which, legit Layla Hirsch is like, apparently Wikipedia says she's 4'11". I thought she was like 5'2", but she's short. Either way, she's short. And Camille is like so much taller than her. But this should be an interesting matchup. Legit Layla Hirsch versus Camille for the NWA Women's World Championship. I have to check that out. That should be really interesting, especially with the size differences like that. And then our main event. This was a very interesting main event and quite a way to end the night. So, the big showdown. Malachi Black versus Cody Rhodes. Malachi Black's entrance, phenomenal. Loved it, loved it, loved it. They had their match, and I tell you, with how the match went and the outcome, I think it was the right way that they did it. And I have to say, Malachi Black, he shut Cody down. I don't know what the new move that they're going to call Malachi Black's Black Mass, because I'm pretty sure they can't keep that move. So definitely interested to see what they're going to call that. But man, everything Cody threw at Malachi Black, he had an answer for, and then it eventually led to a Black Mass, and just he kicked his head off. I mean, right in the jaw. Got the pin. I mean, he didn't even drop down to cover him. He just put his foot on him and pinned him that way. 1, 2, 3. Malachi Black's your winner. You could kind of say, I mean, it was almost kind of a squash. It was it was close. It's questionable. But then afterwards, Cody got up, got on the mic, pretty much praised AEW, praised the fans, and, took a shot at Vince. Like, yeah, we're competition. You better believe it. Yeah. And then he looked like he was getting ready to retire. He was starting to take off his wrestling boots. And usually when a wrestler retires, they take off their wrestling boots and leave them in the middle of the ring. But as he was getting ready to do that, Malachi Black comes back in and cracks Cody in the back with a crutch. And that's how they end the show. So word is, it looks like Cody Rhodes is going to be taking some time away. Probably to spend time with Brandy Rhodes, spend time with their child, and I think he's doing some more filming. So he might be gone for a while. So that had to totally do that in order to write off Cody Rhodes. So it's totally understandable. But yeah. But there you have it for AEW Dynamite. And like I said, next week, next Friday, is the first episode of Rampage. Oh man, it's gonna be a lot of content. I mean, so with AEW, that's AEW Dark Elevation, Dark, Dynamite, and Rampage. Wow, 4 shows. It's a lot. Okay, to WWE now. Um, so Goldberg pretty much came down as MVP was talking smack. You know, MVP Goldberg. Goldberg came down, had a segment. Pretty much, this is going to lead to official match at SummerSlam for the WWE Championship. Bobby Lashley defends against Goldberg. As Goldberg was leaving, Lashley came down with MVP. MVP started talking smack to, I guess that was Goldberg's son. Goldberg came right back, speared MVP, and then they left. So, MVP paid for all that trash talking. And then we had Drew McIntyre versus Veer and Shanky in a 2-on-1 handicap match that ended in a disqualification once Jinder Mahal got involved. And I tell you, they had a moment where Jinder, Shanky, Veer all had chairs, outnumbered Drew McIntyre, but then he got a hold of his sword and pretty much knocked the chairs out and scared them off with his Claymore sword. It was kind of goofy, but which apparently the sword is named Angela. I don't know why it's named Angela, but that's freaking weird. That is so weird. So I don't know. I don't know. But next we had Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax, and I gotta be honest. Like, the way this match went was just, especially the ending, was really weird. Um, Not to mention Nia Jax got a bad cut, and her whole face was bloody. She had a crimson mask in that match. Had a pretty bad cut, but Shayna tried to interfere and be a distraction. That backfired, and Rhea got the roll up. And then afterwards, as Shayna and Nia were arguing, Shayna ups and leaves, Nia in the ring, and then Rhea comes back and gives Nia a riptide. I'm like, why couldn't you do that during the match instead of just doing a roll up victory? Like, you could have just hit her with the riptide and just pinned her. Why didn't they have that finish during the match? It was dumb. It was really dumb. I didn't get that at all. Mason T-Bar had a tag team match, went up against Mansoor and Mustafa Ali. It looked like Mustafa Ali and Mansoor were going to win again, but then just miscommunications led to their downfall, and Mason T-Bar ended up getting the victory. Next up, we had Tamina versus Dewdrop, aka Piper Niven. And what was really, really weird was, of course, Tamina got the victory. And, you know, I really wish these two ladies had a much longer match because it was kind of an intriguing matchup. Dewdrop and Tamina, you know, two big girls. You know, it was definitely, it was kind of intriguing. I would have loved for it to last a little longer. But after the match, pretty much Alexa Bliss appeared and was pretty much like, and the loser is, Eva Marie, as a shot to Eva Marie, because she usually, whenever Dewdrop wins, and the winner is Eva Marie. So that was kind of firing back at her. We had a pretty dang on good match between Damian Priest and John Morrison. I was actually enjoying that match. That was actually pretty good. That was probably like the one great match on Raw. As surprising as that is for me to say. But even after Damian Priest picked up the victory, Sheamus interfered, started attacking Damian Priest. And then out comes Ricochet to help even the odds. And then this turns into another match, a tag team match. Ricochet and Damian Priest versus John Morrison and Sheamus. Just like that. Just transition right into that. But once again, Damian Priest, Ricochet. So it's 2 victories in a row for Damian Priest. One in the singles and one in the tag team. So yeah, it was crazy. Omos versus Riddle. Omos beat Riddle. Not surprised. They're gonna keep him strong, especially when he's wrestling as a singles. They're gonna keep him strong. So I'm not really surprised at that. We had Keith Lee versus Karrion Kross, which it was definitely a longer match than before. But this time, Keith Lee was able to get the victory after hitting a spirit bomb on Karrion Kross. So now, both both Keith Lee and Karrion Kross are 1-2. It's weird, especially with Takeover around the corner, and Karrion Kross has to defend his title, NXT title, against Samoa Joe. He's already losing twice on the main roster. Yeah. Good booking there, WWE. Reggie defended the 24/7 championship against Ninja Akira Tozawa. Did flips and dives and tricks and flips and equal to win. And then the main event was Nikki Ash versus Charlotte Flair in a no holds barred match. I really wasn't invested in this match at all, especially being that the previous week they had wrestled. So I was not invested in this. But Nikki Ash got the victory. She was able to get the victory, and I know there was a moment where Charlotte was trying to spear Nikki and went through the table. And she put Nikki through the announce table as well. But yeah, Nikki with the victory. And of course, at SummerSlam we're gonna have Nikki Ash defend the Raw Women's title against Charlotte and Rhea Ripley. But SummerSlam just doesn't look intriguing at all, to be honest with you. Anyway, NXT. So we had a rematch. Hit Row versus Legado del Fantasma. And once again, even though Hit Row got the disqualification victory, man, Legado del Fantasma is just really... I feel like they have the momentum, and it seems like they've had the momentum for a while. And it got so bad that he took Swerve's grill, his teeth, his like silver diamond whatever teeth, his grill. I'm like, dang, that's crazy. He took his grill. Yeah. That's weird. Really, really weird. Ridge Holland made his in-ring return against Ikemen, and like I said before, Ridge Holland sided with Pete Dunne and Oney Lorcan, but got the pretty easy victory. It wasn't a long match. They even had a segment with Zoe Stark and Io Shirai at a sushi restaurant trying to bond. Of course, Io was enjoying the food. Zoe hated the food, but was trying to get rid of the food without anybody seeing anything. And that whole segment reminds me of Team Hell No, Daniel Bryan and Kane. That's what this is kind of feeling like between Zoe Stark and Io Shirai, who have yet to defend the tag titles. They haven't had their first defense yet, so I wonder when they're going to finally do that. I would hope NXT Takeover coming up, but nobody's really stepped up or established a number one contendership to their titles. I mean, maybe Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Bobby Fish loses to Roderick Strong again. Ah, man, goodness gracious. Just back-to-back losses. He hasn't had a singles victory since his return. Hasn't had a singles victory since his return. It's ridiculous. I mean, it was a pretty good match, but still. I mean, and I like Roderick Strong. I like Bobby Fish, but still. That's kind of ridiculous. LA Knight and Cameron Grimes teamed up. I don't know why the heck this was even a thing. Against the Grizzled Young Veterans. And of course, Grizzled Young Veterans won. Whereas they hit a ticket to mayhem on Cameron Grimes. Originally, Cameron Grimes was looking to tag in LA Knight. LA Knight ditched him and left him to suffer at the hands of the Grizzled Young Veterans. Afterwards, Million Dollar Man Ted DiBiase came down to comfort Cameron Grimes and was like, look, I know you're a man of your word, but you really need to do something to get out of this. You need to get out of this. You're being humiliated, embarrassed. You need to get out of this situation. So, there's that. We had the breakout tournament continue. The last first round match, we had Joe Gacy versus Trey Baxter. This was definitely a pretty good match, and I was kind of surprised at the ending, but Trey Baxter did the 450 double foot stomp. I've never seen anything like that, but that was really cool. And got the victory. But yeah, 450 double foot stomp. It was crazy. So yeah, that concludes the first round of the breakout tournament. So the next round pretty much is the semis. The next round is the semis. So keep an eye out for that. We had a segment that had Karrion Kross and Samoa Joe, which, Karrion Kross was calling out Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe came down and security was trying to hold him back, but of course he fought off the security and even put one of the folks to sleep. You do not want to piss off Samoa Joe. Just word of advice: never piss off Samoa Joe. That's all I can say to that. And then the main event was Dexter Lumis versus Johnny Gargano, the lover or loser match, or lover or loser, yeah. And it was back and forth. Indy was there. Candice was there. It was very much back and forth. But technically, Johnny Gargano did get the victory, but in the end, love conquered all, and Indy ran back in that ring, and she just jumped on Dexter Lumis and just kissed him up. She was determined she was gonna get her man, and even if they aren't together after this, she finally got that kiss that she wanted, and they got to embrace. And yeah, I guess that's really what she wanted, but looks like we won't be seeing any more of that. I guess, because of the stipulation, but we'll see. You know, it, Dexter lost the match, and she didn't care. She's like, "Bump it! I'm gonna get my kiss. I'm gonna get my kiss," and that's what she did. So hey, that's love. Anyway, NXT UK. Let me get some more water here. Started off with a match with the ladies. Zaya Brookside versus Blair Davenport. And oh man, I was just bummed that she had to be fed to Blair Davenport. I mean, she gave it a good effort, but ate a B trigger and then ate a Kamagoye, and that was it. Or Zaya Brookside. She's been on a pretty bad losing streak. Sucks too. Oh, I didn't think she would be losing this much, to be honest with y'all. But yes, it's a bummer. It's a bummer. Jack Stars and Dave Mestiff were in a tag team against Danny Jones and Josh Morrell, and they were able to get the victory. Jack Stars and Dave Mestiff, pretty solid team in this match. I was digging it. They looked great. Definitely looked great. And then there was also a segment from Aoife Valkyrie, had a vignette with her, and there was a cage, and of course this was towards Jenny, and I'm under the impression that Aoife Valkyrie is suggesting one more match between her and Jenny, but this time they're maybe in a steel cage, or maybe Joseph Connors is in a cage. But we'll see. But it's looking like we're going to get at least one more match between Jenny and Aoife Valkyrie. And then we had the 30-minute Iron Man match. First ever in NXT UK history. A-Kid versus Jordan Devlin. And I must say, this was an excellent match. These two were beating the crap out of each other. And it was just crazy. Submissions here, strikes there. It was crazy. But Jordan Devlin got the first win by Cloverleaf submission. And then A-Kid got the next victory, tying it up at 1-1, where he got armbar. He was working that armbar quite a bit to the point where he was able to eventually hold on and then turn it into a cross arm breaker to get the tap out. And then later on, A-Kid was finally able to lock in a Umaplata for another tap out victory. So it's 2-1 A-Kid. And it looked like Jordan Devlin was going to get one more victory and went for the cover, but time expired. And it looked like A-Kid was going to kick out anyway. Time expired, and A-Kid wins the 30-minute Iron Man match by a score of 2-1. That's right. First point went to Jordan Devlin, and the next two went to A-Kid. Um, like I said, this was good. This was really good. Oh, I almost forgot. They also announced Heritage Cup tournament to crown or not to crown, but to name a new number one contender. So it's definitely something to look out for. Flash Morgan Webster is going to be in it. Mark Andrews is going to be in it. Noam Dar is going to be in it. Tealman's going to be in it. Wolfgang, Oliver Carter, Sam Gradwell. So they're all going to be fighting in this tournament to become number one contender to be the next one to challenge Tyler Bate for the Heritage Cup. But like I said, not a lot of matches, just because they had the Iron Man match, but pretty decent episode of NXT UK. And then we had Friday Night SmackDown. Of course, Sasha Banks started off, got on the mic, came to the ring, got on the mic, pretty much, did her promo. Shots fired back at Bianca Belair. Bianca comes out, and it looks like this is leading into SmackDown Women's Championship will be defended at SummerSlam. And then in the midst of this, Zelina Vega comes out, and she feels like she needs a shot. She needs to be the one to have that shot, which Bianca was down to face her tonight, and it looked like it was going to be for the title, but then, of course, later on, Sonya and Adam Pearce had to put their feet down and make it into a type of match where if Zelina wins, then she would get a title shot against the winner at SummerSlam. So I hate the fact that they did that. I really did, but it is what it is. We had Jey Uso versus Dominic. So before it was Rey Mysterio versus Jimmy, and now it's Jey versus Dominic. Only this time, Jey Uso beat Dominic legit, pretty much. Had the Uso splash, the super kick, actually beat him legit that time. It wasn't a leverage pin like before. So there's that. We had Shinsuke Nakamura versus Apollo Crews. Of course, Rick Boogs was there. Commander Aziz was there. And once again, Shinsuke Nakamura is looking like he might have the Intercontinental Champion's number. That's another victory for him. But it was via disqualification. But at the same time, hey, they still were the last men standing with the last laugh, as they were still able to fend off Commander Aziz and Apollo Crews. But it's looking like this is going to lead to an Intercontinental Championship opportunity for Shinsuke. So I have mixed feelings about that because I really want him to be in the world title picture. Because, I mean, he's already been Intercontinental Champion. So, We had Tamina. So Tamina doing some double duty. So she wrestled on Raw, beat Doudrop. And now we have Tamina versus Tegan Knox. Or Knox. I don't know why they're calling her Knox. But anyway, it looked like Tamina was getting ready to hit the Samoan drop after nailing a super kick. But Shotzi, while sitting in the tank watching the match, fired the cannon, which ended up being the distraction. And Tegan Knox was able to capitalize and pin Tamina after that cannon distraction. So, dang, Tamina won, on Raw, lost on SmackDown, and she still has the women's tag titles, which honestly, I don't know when Natalia is going to be back, but I mean, I really don't know if she'll even be back in time for those tag titles to be defended. So, I mean, they really may want to consider getting them vacated. Because I would think it's going to be a while before she can come back and continue, but whichever. Edge had a segment in the ring, got on the mic, and then we had Seth Rollins on via satellite, and they were talking back and forth. And Edge challenged Seth Rollins to a match at SummerSlam. Was a little bit reluctant at first, but then eventually accepted. So we're going to get Rollins and Edge for the first time ever. First time ever at SummerSlam. That should be good. That actually should be really good. Street Profits were back in a tag team match against the Dirty Dogs. Bobby Roode, or Robert Roode, and Mr. Ziggles, Dolph Ziggler. But yeah, it was good to see Montez and Angelo Dawkins, the Street Profits, back in action as a tag team, and they were able to get the victory this time. And Montez did his super from the heavens frog splash. So it's just really good to see him back in the ring and doing what he does so well. And we had Bianca Belair versus Zelina Vega, as said before. And it looked like Zelina Vega was really showing that she's competition, but was still not enough to beat Bianca Belair. And Zelina Vega, she's been on a losing streak, you know? So it's like, dang. Zelina Vega can't catch a break. It's ridiculous. Then we had Baron Corbin versus Finn Balor, which, Baron Corbin tried to come back in and apologize to Finn. Finn wasn't having it and just started pounding on him. And he ended up defeating Baron Corbin pretty easily. Really wasn't too much that he had to do. But called out Roman Reigns, and he came down, and it looked like he was going to get in the ring and square off with Finn Balor, but the Usos come in, beat up on Finn Balor. Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman start walking away, but Finn Balor starts getting the upper hand, fending off the Usos. And then Roman Reigns came back, got in the ring, and tried to go one-on-one with Finn Balor. And it looked like he was really owning Roman Reigns at that moment until the Usos regained consciousness. And then it turned into a 3-on-1 assault. And the rest was history. Finn wasn't getting past that. He was doing well at first, but no, he wasn't going to get past that. So, and that's how the SmackDown ended. It was kind of an interesting SmackDown, but yeah, that was pretty much it. But before I end this, a couple of things I wanted to take note. First off, contract situations. So it's been brought to my attention that Adam Cole's contract is expiring end of this month, or at least he is good until post SummerSlam, which you have SummerSlam on Saturday, the 21st of August, and then NXT Takeover 36 on the 22nd. So, flip flop. Interesting. And he hasn't been offered a long-term deal. So, and he hasn't, and apparently Tony Khan, denied offering any contract to Adam Cole. So there's no telling what's going to happen with Adam Cole. You know, if he's going to get an extension or a longer term contract, is he going to go to the main roster or is he leaving WWE? I was talking to a friend of mine and I was thinking that maybe Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole go at it one last time at TakeOver, but the incentive is whoever loses has to leave NXT or has to leave WWE. And that could be how they write off Adam Cole. But it's just a thought. It's just a thought. But not only Adam Cole's contract's expiring, so is Pete Dunne. And he's in pretty much the same situation as well. No talks about a contract extending or anything like that. But you know what would be kind of cool? Either Pete Dunne goes to ROH, Impact Wrestling, or he could join United Empire, maybe at New Japan Pro Wrestling. That would be kind of neat, actually. But and then Adam Cole. I mean, Adam Cole could always go back to ROH. I mean, he has a strong stance there. Impact Wrestling, AEW would have been nice because he could have been there with Britt Baker, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. But oh, and Ric Flair was also released, by the way. So Ric Flair is no longer with WWE, and rumor is that he is signing with AEW as a manager contract. So we'll have to see who he may end up managing. I mean, at one point, I thought maybe Andrade El Idolo. I mean, after all, that's it's pretty much going to be his future son-in-law. But that's a thought. It's a thought. But aside from that, the pro wrestling world definitely has been shaken quite a bit today. WWE made a whole buttload of releases. Counting them up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 releases. So, check out this list: Bobby Fish, Bronson Reed, Jake Atlas, Ari Sterling, Kona Reeves, Leon Ruff, Stephen Smith, Tyler Rust, Zachariah Smith, Asher Hale, Giant Sanjir, Mercedes Martinez, and Desmond Troy. You know, to kind of go through a little bit of this list, Bobby Fish, not too long ago, just came back from injury, was in an angle going against Diamond Mine, but then again, he'd been losing match after match after match. But dang, Bobby Fish released. You know, that one hurt. You know me, I'm a big fan of Red Dragon. Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, I love them both as singles as well as a tag team. So, Bobby Fish, no telling what's going to happen with him. I mean, some say that he may be sort of injury prone, but I don't know. He was looking good to me. But he's in his 40s, though. I think he's 42 or 43. You know, Bobby Fish, he's getting up there in age. So, we'll have to see what happens with him. I mean, you know, he could always go back to ROH. Impact maybe, New Japan. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where he could potentially go. Bronson Reed. This was a shocker. I mean, the dude was just recently NXT North American champion. You know, recently had a great match against Adam Cole, and it looked like he was being built up to go to the main roster. I mean, he was doing dark matches, but dang, he gets released. And it's like, wow, I did not see that one coming. So I have to see what happens with him. There's no telling where I think it's the best place for him to go to. Because I believe he's still pretty young too. He's still pretty young. Jake Atlas. Jake Atlas was kind of a bummer because I was really starting to like him, and I know he had lasted a. I remember he did a mixed gender match with Mercedes Martinez when they went up against Zia Lee and what's her face Boa. But yeah, this was kind of a bummer. You know, Jake Atlas when he wrestled, his matches were good. I liked his matches. So I could see him going to either ROH or Impact Wrestling. I could definitely see him there. AEW, I doubt it, but he could be a great addition for the X division. I would think he would do just fine in the X division. Ari Sterling, aka Alex Zane, which I've gotten to see him a few times in New Japan Pro Wrestling and in ROH. Great wrestler. Great wrestler. And I felt like it wasn't that long ago that he just got to WWE from New Japan Pro Wrestling. So I'm hoping that he's able to go back into that or maybe set foot in the X division. I mean, I really hope he gets a chance to get back in the ring soon because he's good. He's really good. Kona Reeves got let go. Which, does anybody remember the last time we saw Kona Reeves in action? It's been like, man, it's been like forever. So, I totally forgot he was even still there. Leon Ruff. Leon Ruff, that one hurt. That one definitely hurt. Another former NXT North American champion. I was really hoping to see him potentially get a cruiserweight championship run, but just didn't happen. Heck of a high flyer, heck of a talent. But oh man, who knows? Maybe he could join up with Willie Mack and Rich Swann in Impact Wrestling. Oh, I would love to see that. That'd be quite a trio right there. I would love to see that. Stephen Smith. Don't know this guy, so I can't really comment on him. But I don't know this guy. So yeah, I don't know about Stephen Smith. Tyler Rust, which Tyler Rust had a thing going with Malcolm Bivens, and he was part of Diamond Mine. Diamond Mine pretty much just got formed, and now he's been let go. So just the timing of that is just weird. It's just really weird. And he was a rising up and coming talent as well. So yeah, that was weird. Zachariah Smith, don't know him. Don't know him. Asher Hell, aka Anthony Henry, someone that I got a chance to see wrestle and evolve twice. Really good wrestler. Sucks that he's getting let go because he's good in the ring. I actually really like him. Giant Zangier, don't know him. Mercedes Martinez, that one bothered me a little bit. I mean, especially with the timing of it. I mean, she had the concussion or whatnot, the injury, taking that kick from Zia Lee, and I thought we would see her back at some point, but they let her go. And it's a bummer too because I was hoping for Mercedes Martinez to finally get her big break on a big platform because she's well known. in the Indies. Well known. So, but I think Mercedes, she might be up there in age as well. Probably not too high, but I think she's probably around the same age as Shayna Baszler, maybe, but I could be wrong. But it sucks to see her let go. And she could definitely go anywhere and be successful and really give great matches. So she'll have options. And then there's Desmond Troy. Desmond Troy, I don't really know that much about, but he got added later to the list today. So, yeah, 13 people let go. And word is that this all happened during SmackDown. And not only that, but the incentive behind this is supposedly the word is that NXT is going to get rebranded and is going to go through some changes. It's going to have a new logo, new lighting, just a whole new look, and it's going to have a focus on younger talent. Main focus is on the younger talent. My thing is this: I thought they were going to do that with the whole NXT like Evolve sort of project that was kind of up in the air, but I guess Nick Khan ruined that. But I thought that was what was going to be what was established to focus solely on the young talent, the rookies, the up and comers. And then, of course, we were going to have NXT Japan, but it looks like that's out of the picture. Because I was hoping to see NXT Japan and Kairi Sane to have a hand in that. But doubt that's going to happen. So I don't know. More and more, I'm convinced that at some point, WWE is going to get sold. It's going to be up for sale, and it's going to be sold. It's only a matter of time. I think it's only a matter of time. And the only other thing I wanted to get into was apparently the possibility that SummerSlam could get canceled. With the protocols and the sudden rise in COVID cases, especially with this Delta variant, WWE's worried that they may need to cancel SummerSlam. And it also looks like they're going to be going back to the Performance Center or even back to Thunderdome for a bit. And I know Tony Khan and AEW's coming up with a contingency plan because they may do the same with their upcoming tours. So it's a lot going on, quite a lot going on. But man, the releases from WWE, that's really the big news for today. It's crazy, really crazy. But that is pretty much all that I have to chat about tonight. Covered quite a bit. Covered quite a good bit. But let me know what y'all think. What y'all think about the 5-star Grand Prix. Who do y'all think is going to win? Who are you excited for? The Super Junior Tag League. Who do you want to win that? What do you think about these releases? But yeah, let me know what y'all think. Like, comment, subscribe. Click the notification bell so you catch every video. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Pro Wrestling Talk. I'm Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. Hope everybody has a blessed weekend, and I will see you all soon. Stay safe. Salute.